Hi again, this is Ava Weeks. I hope you've been able to see some of my videos now on the Fountain of Healing Facebook page or YouTube. And if you haven't had a chance to do so, then I hope you get to go and do that. Now, today we're going to talk about miscarriages. This is a very tough subject, very heavy. It's like a heavy meal. But at the end of the heavy meal, there's going to be a dessert at the end, so hang on for that. And I feel personally that the miscarriages have been misunderstood. I haven't been really understood fully what happens. I know that when we go to the doctor's office after having a miscarriage, the doctor will say it's a genetic abnormality or a chromosomal abnormality. But the truth is that they haven't conducted a test on us or on you to determine that was the case. So that's just an assumption. What I do know is my side of the story. What happened? Us moms know very well when something happens. We know we have this detachment feeling. We know when something goes wrong. If we're good at listening to our bodies, we know what happened and how it happened. So I'm going to stick on that side of the story. I have listed a lot of reasons in my book titled Let Me Lend You a Hand. It's now on Amazon. You can find it there. There's a lot of reasons, but there's one particular aspect of miscarriages that I want to really zoom in to help you understand and focus. And by the way, this session is meant to help you strengthen up, to get good understanding, to prevent a miscarriage, not to point the finger to someone or yourself. This is just to help you so that you can overcome those challenges and during a pregnancy and be able to have a successful pregnancy and birthing experience. So moms and dads, if you find yourself at any point during this session that you're tearing up, please let those emotions come out, let those tears roll down, because otherwise you'll give yourself a headache or thyroid ache, and it's going to go into your digestive systems, and you're going to be struggling. It's not worth it to hang on to pain. You can just let it out. So my heart's desire is to lower down the rate. Right now it's 80% risk of miscarriage during the first trimester for women. So women, we can lower it down, maybe 1% or less. And there are things you can do. First, I want you to understand what it is, what happens. So we as women are as strong as our weakest links, which means that if we have something we're struggling with emotionally or physically, that during a pregnancy, it just gets all of a sudden magnified because our hormones are all over the place. So what we need to do is we need to write those things down and see if we can solve them. Or else we can just leave them for later, for after, remind ourselves it doesn't have to be solved now. Otherwise, if you let those things get to you, you will get depressed. And the depression goes into either you have no energy to be on your feet and you just rest, lay down, and you cannot get up of bed to even get a cup of water, and your body's telling you, I'm very dehydrated, very thirsty. And we know what happens when we are thirsty. It's like we're like plants. Plants, if they don't get enough water, the first thing to give is the bud, because they need to survive, right? So we don't want that to happen. Something else that can happen when we are really mentally stressed is that we give in into food temptations, things that are not good and healthy for us, or we start really magnifying that nesting mode that we get into, like we really want to do everything and anything just because we are really mentally stressing out over things and we just cannot handle it, so we just overdo it physically, whether physical activity or getting the house ready or exercise, things like that. And those are not good things to do, in the baby's best interest. We need to rest and listen to our body. Listen to our body is the number one key. So we really are like plants. We need a lot of care, a lot of watering during the phase when there is a bud growing in us, and not let those weak links to break us down. So it's good to create a plan. It's good to prevent miscarriage even by the foods that you eat. So your digestive system needs to be checked. It's always in the best interest if you can get that checked prior to pregnancy. But even during pregnancy, you can do that and make sure you support the body the right way. Foods, they can impact you with food intolerances. So for me, for instance, when I'm pregnant, if I eat nuts, my arms and legs will swell. The doctors don't know yet that it's the food sensitivity. I have had this tested because I have 7 children, so I cannot tolerate nuts at all during pregnancy up to 6 weeks after giving birth. After that, I can eat nuts and I'm fine. They don't impact me in any way. I'm not allergic to it. But during pregnancy, somehow that becomes a sensitivity. Something else too is that when we allow ourselves to be so depressed, another thing that happens is that we weaken our immune system, and so infections rise up now. And a lot of women end up taking root canal procedures during pregnancy. Well, when you go to the endodontist, they will have to sign a form that says there's an 80% risk of fetal abnormality from this procedure, both physical and developmental, and that's not good for your baby. It's not healthy at all. It's putting your baby's life at risk, and that can be prevented, that can be reversed, because your body has the ability to fight an infection. So with the right support and removing those stressors that are impacting your body, you can reverse that. And by the way, you can always call me for session, consulting session. I do over the phone, Zoom call, or FaceTime we can do. I'll consult you, and my number is 480-262-3007, and we can reverse that without placing your baby at risk. You don't need to go through a very expensive procedure that it's not in your best interest or in your baby's best interest. And creating a plan. You're pregnant, and you say to yourself, all right, the nesting can wait till after a baby is born. The stressors can be resolved after the baby is born. I am not going to let myself get to this point. I'm just going to help my baby, help myself to be at a strong point so that I do not risk my baby's life. Those are very important. And again, like I said, there are really good suggestions here in my book. I hope you get the chance to read it. It's on Amazon. It's titled Let Me Lend You a Hand. That also has some good suggestions for after the baby is born too. So the first year of life and how to support baby's health. Now, it's part for the dessert. It's the dessert time. I'm going to share something personal. So in my last pregnancy, I had a miscarriage. My baby stopped the heartbeat at 7 weeks and 5 days. And I was really sad. I knew right away. I just knew it. And so I prayed that day, prayed about the baby. We confirmed with the doctors that that's what had happened. And the next morning I had a very beautiful dream. And it showed that, it showed us and showed how we loved the baby. And the baby knew that. And the baby wanted to hang out a little longer, didn't want to leave yet, wanted to play with his siblings, with his brother. And the two of them had this bond together. It was really beautiful waking up from that dream, because it just helped me realize that, wow, the baby knows that we love him. Right, and it was a boy, and it was really, really good to see that. Now I prayed, and that same day I really prayed again, and I lit up a candle for the baby. My heart was poured into that. And the next morning, one of my girls comes to me and she says, "Mama, before I fell asleep last night. Everybody was asleep, but I couldn't go to sleep just yet. And so I hear the baby whisper in my ear." And I said, "Well, what did the baby say?" And she said, "Well, it said 3 things. The first was, I'll see you in heaven. The second was, when you die, I'm going to show you what heaven looks like. And the third thing was, heaven is a very pretty place, not like earth." And I was just so touched by it, because I didn't expect any of this to come out of any of my children or anybody that I have met in my life. But, parents, it's beautiful. Just know it, that your baby is not lost. If you've lost someone here, you're going to see them in heaven. It's a very pretty place, and your baby can't wait to show you what heaven looks like. So I hope you're blessed by this session. I hope you got some good understanding. And if you need any kind of consulting, feel free to call me. Eva Weeks, 480-262-3007 is my number, or send me a text, and we can schedule a over-the-phone consult. But most importantly, I just want to wish you best luck in your pregnancies, and best luck so we can preserve ourselves from heartache and from another loss. I just hope everything goes well with you, and we'll see you in the next session.